Hello my friends, welcome to or back to my channel. I am Mars, this is the Starlit Library, and today I'm going to be sharing with you my horror bingo TBR. Now, if you don't know what this is a year-long reading challenge created by Sarah over at Wicked Reading, and it's basically a whole bingo board created with prompts that are supposed to help you reach out for more horror books and read a lot of different kind of variety of horror books based off of these prompts. There is an easy mode and a hard mode for these prompts, and you can play it like a regular bingo where you only get like one row, or you can of course go hardcore and do more than one bingo or a blackout board. I'm not exactly aiming specifically for a blackout board, but since this is a challenge for the entire year, then we'll see. I'm just hoping to make as much progress as I can because I've been wanting to really expand my horizons with horror and read more in the genre to find what I really like. For a lot of these, I'm going to go into it very blind because I don't want to have like high expectations and then just feel disappointed about what's going to happen. So I'm not gonna be giving very long synopsis of the books. I'm kind of just gonna give you a brief idea about what it's about because there's a lot to go through. So let's get started. The first square on the bingo board is published in 2025, and the hard mode is to read it before the end of 2025. And for this, I'm really excited to get to The Macabre by Kosoko Jackson. This, I think, just released this month or last month, and all I know about it is it follows someone who wants to try and find 10 cursed paintings, and they themselves are an artist, and that's kind of all I know, all I would like to know. The second prompt is mixed media, a book that includes any type of mixed media like journal entries, letters, texts, advertisements, etc. And the hard mode is a book that includes more than 3 of these types of media. And for this, I'm not really sure. I would say that a good recommendation for this is episode 13 by Craig DeLuey, but I read this a couple months ago, so I can't use it. But while I was doing my research, one that came up a lot was Night Film by Marisha Pessel, and this seems kind of like a crime detective story, kind of. There was a girl found dead, and there is also some connection to films, like a cursed family and maybe a cursed film. And I guess trying to find out what happened to the girl who was found dead. I think that's what I got from this, but I'm not really going to read more into it. And I'm not sure what kind of mixed media is in this, but we'll see. I'll let you know. The next square is an indie or self-published book, and the hard mode is a new to you author. And for this, I'm choosing to read Of Beasts by M. Jane Worma. This I got as an e-arc from NetGalley, and it comes out, I believe, in February of 2026. And it was published by Clash Books, which is an independent press. And this is something described as a dark queer horror between a priest and the Antichrist. And that's all I need to know, so I'm really excited to get to this one, and I'm glad that I have the arc for it. The next square is Paranormal, a book that includes topics such as ghosts, alien abductions, psychic abilities, anything unexplained by science, and the hard mode is that there are ghost hunters or paranormal investigator characters. Again, for this, it would be a great recommendation would be to read episode 13 by Craig DeLuey, but for this I'm going to choose to read Ghost Eaters by Clay McLeod Chaplin. And this talks a lot about addiction and grief because the main character's partner, I believe, dies, and she finds this drug that is supposed to help you communicate with the afterlife. So that one sounds really interesting. I've heard really good things about that. The next one is Stolen from Another TBR, a book that you just saw on someone else's TBR, and the hard mode is that it's stolen from another horror bingo TBR. So for this, Sarah puts up a bunch of other people's bingo boards on her Instagram, and she creates a playlist on her YouTube channel as well for everyone else's TBRs. So from this, I just looked through her stories on Instagram, and I saw Red River 7 by AJ Ryan was on someone's board, and this is something that I've been wanting to read for a while because it's kind of like an isolated setting. I think there are 6 or 7 people who wake up on a boat, and then there's a dead body or something like that, and they have to figure out what happened. From what I think I remember about the synopsis, that's what it's about. And I believe also that this is actually Anthony Ryan. This is his other pen name that he uses, I guess, for publishing different genres, and this one being horror. I haven't actually read any of his fantasy books yet, but I have so many that are on my TBR, so I'm really excited to get to see what he does with horror. I also wanted to take this opportunity, because I feel like it's the perfect timing with it being spooky season, to show you my new pet. And it is a spider. So if you don't like spiders, you can't really see it, so maybe it won't scare you that much. But I at least wanted to show you my enclosure because it's the cutest thing ever. Okay, do you see that? Spooky pumpkin. And then we have a bunch of rocks that are here, that kind of looks like a graveyard. And then we have, this is just the little guy over there in the corner. You can kind of see, just chilling in the corner on top of the bark. There's some fake plants in there, some more rocks, because I love rocks. I collect a lot of rocks. You can see in the corner here, and then this is the rest of the enclosure. We have a little dish with water over here, and then some more rocks, and yeah, this is my cute new little little pet. It is a tarantula, still very juvenile, but the type is a P. muscara, which is colloquially called the giant bird-eating spider, which is a little terrifying, but so they are like not super friendly all the time, but you know, I'm not petting it or anything. I'm just taking care of it. But I do not have a name for it yet, and I also don't know the gender, because usually that's something that you can tell when they molt, and even within the last time it molted, I don't think that I could really tell what the gender is from its little exoskeleton. So, but I would love, please, if you could leave some name suggestions. I will also put a photo more up close so you can see what it looks like, because it's so beautiful. But I don't have any names, and I would prefer something that's gender neutral, or something like silly, not like a real person name. I would prefer something like kind of silly, like sock, or frying pan. I don't know, like inanimate objects I think are really funny names, and it's perfect that they're like not gendered. And so if you have any suggestions, I would love to go through and try and find something. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Now, starting within the second row of the board, we have vampires, and the hard mode is a story that takes place in modern day. So for this, I'm going to choose the Nosferatu Scroll by James Becker, and I talked about this in my TBR before, that this is, again, kind of like a crime investigation where they are trying to uncover an ancient secret in a desecrated tomb. And it has, I believe, dual timeline from 1741 and 2010, so that definitely counts as modern. The next prompt is water setting, a book with a prominent water setting, and the hard mode is that the majority of the story happens directly on or in the water. And for this, I've been wanting to get to this book for a while. I wanted to read this last winter, but I never got around to it, and it's A Haunting in the Arctic by C.J. Cook. And I believe this is another story set on a boat. A group of people traveling through the Arctic, and the boat is apparently haunted or something. I mean, that seems pretty self-explanatory from the title, but I don't really remember anything more about that, so that's all you're gonna get. The next square is Horror Movie Element, a book that features horror movies in some way. It pays homage to characters, revolves around a movie, or etc. And for this, the hard mode is just to watch a horror movie. And I've read Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay, liked it. enough. It was all right. I also read the one by, oh my god, what's it called? The Negative, Bad Negative, or something. I don't remember what it's called because I didn't like the book at all. So I don't really know if this little subgenre will be for me, but I have a couple options that I'm relatively interested in. One of them I've had on my list forever is called Universal Harvester by John Darnielle, and this is about some guy who works at a movie rental place like Blockbuster, rest in peace, and someone comes in returning a movie that they say has something else taped over it. And so this main character goes to investigate, and he sees that this isn't just a one-time thing, that this has happened on multiple movies, that there's just some odd scenes that looks like they were filmed in his small hometown, and he's trying to, I guess, get sucked into investigating or discovering what this found footage is. Another option I have is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth, and I hear this one is like a dark academia feminist story, and from what I saw about in the plot, it says that there's like dual timelines, and the present timeline talks about a movie being created based on a school that where they think was cursed or haunted because a lot of people ended up dying at the school. So that could be something that I think I might be interested in. The next square is spell ghost or scare with using the letters from the title and the author's name. And the hard mode is that the author is BIPOC, so Black, Indigenous, People of Color. For this, I'd really like to read Something is Killing the Children by James Tyrion IV. This wouldn't hit hard mode, but that's okay. I don't know if maybe I would find something else for that. I'm not too pressed about hitting hard or easy mode. And this is a graphic novel. I mentioned this also in my October TBR. I don't really know what it's about, but something is killing the children. So it's dark, ooky spooky. The next square on the board is liminal spaces. So this is a book where the story includes a liminal space, a space in between worlds, planes, or universes. And the hard mode is just that the book has an even number of pages. And for this, I've really been interested in picking up the work of Laird Barron. I think that's how you pronounce their name. And the book I want to read is The Croning. I don't really know anything about this, but the synopsis just says that Donald Miller has walked along the edge of a chasm of most of his early 80 years. And then all things must converge. Donald will discover the dark secrets along the edges, unearthing savage truths, etc., etc. So it sounds like there's some sort of different realm of things that exist on the periphery of our existence, haunting us from the darkness looming beyond our firelight. This sounds really, really interesting, and I remember a while ago reading maybe a short story or just reading a little sample of Laird Barron's writing style, and I absolutely loved it. So I've been wanting to check out their work for a long time now, and this just seems like a very intriguing book. The next prompt is just a library book, and the hard mode is that you return it on time or in a timely manner. Or if you don't have access to a library, an alternative is that you borrowed this book from a friend. I use Libby all the time, so there's a lot of options for me to choose from, so I may take liberties and choose a different book for this, but for now, the main thing that I've really been wanting to get to is The Paleontologist by Luc Dumas. And I'm pretty sure this is just about a paleontologist who works in a museum and then starts to see or hear or experience weird things in the museum. It might be haunted or not, I'm not sure. But it seems related to dinosaurs, and absolutely, absolutely. Dinosaur horror? Are you kidding me? The next prompt is a book that is picked by chance, and the hard mode is that there are more than 10 possibilities. For this, I haven't picked anything yet, and I was thinking that maybe I could do like a spinner wheel in this video, but I'm also thinking that I might want to do some vlogs later And so honestly, I'm just going to leave this open for now and probably pick something later. Next prompt is a book that you've been putting off, something that maybe is a bit intimidating, or you just like keep on putting it off for a later time. And the hard mode is that you make it the first book that you fill out on the board. And I have successfully done this already. I'm very happy to report that the book that I read for this square is At Dark I Become Loathsome by Eric LaRocca. I was sent this as an ARC a while ago and it was published in January of this year, I believe. So it's taken me a while to get to it, but I did finish it this month. And this is a really odd story with kind of some other stories within it. About a man who has a very odd profession where he basically helps people who are feeling suicidal by giving them like fake funerals. And supposedly that's something that would supposedly help them see that they don't actually want to die, and would change their life, change their perspective, that they do want to keep living. And he's also dealing with his own past demons and stuff like that. The next prompt is LGBTQ plus rep, and the hard mode is that the representation is the main character and there are LGBTQ plus themes that are talked about. For this, I've been thinking that I want to choose Manhunt by Gretchen Felker Martin. This is a post-apocalyptic world where a bunch of characters who are queer maybe take revenge or something along those lines, and I hear that it definitely talks about queer themes, so this sounds like it'll be fun and interesting. Next prompt is buddy read, something that you read along with other people, even if it's just one friend, and the hard mode is to participate in a discussion. For this, I was thinking to do Between Two Fires by Christopher Buehlman, because I know a lot of people have this on their TBR right now, and I was going to reach out to other people to maybe buddy read this. But I actually completely forgot about that because I think that it was supposed to be planned for this month, so I don't know if I'm still going to do that either this month or in a later month, or maybe pick a different book for this, but this was what I was thinking about to do a buddy read for. The next prompt is a book that is recommended to you either by a friend or online, and the hard mode is that it is out of your comfort zone, whether because of format, subgenre, etc. And for this, I'm reading Black Mouth by Ronald Malfi. I mentioned this again in my October TBR. This was recommended to me by John at Talking Story, and I'm in the middle of it right now, and I am enjoying it. It is definitely mysterious and definitely has some things that I'm intrigued to figure out more about. This is basically just about a group of adults who all went through something pretty traumatic when they were kids, and we don't exactly know what it is, but they are eventually going to be coming back together to try and get the answers that they have always wanted. And I'm not entirely sure, I guess, that this does hit hard mode for me because, again, I don't read a lot of horror, so I'm not sure entirely if this falls in or out of my comfort zone. I'm definitely more of like a fantasy reader. I guess maybe we'll see how it goes by the time I finish the book. Next prompt is just to read a novella, and the hard mode is that it's by an author you have read from before. And for this, I put Ring Shout by P. Jelly Clark. Last year, 2 years ago, I read Black God Drums by this author, and I've been wanting to check out Ring Shout for a while. This is about people in the KKK who are actual, like, monsters, and I guess monster hunters? I'm not entirely sure, and it is a novella, so it's really short, so I don't know what exactly is going to transpire, but it definitely sounds like something I'm interested in. Next prompt is a planty eco-nature horror, and the hard mode is that the cover includes nature elements, and for this I'm choosing The Ruins by Scott Smith. I've been wanting to get to this since the first time I heard about it, and I'm really excited for it. I don't really know much about it, just that there are people who are investigating ruins in, I believe, maybe Latin America, and something's probably out to get them. The next prompt is that the title includes a verb, and the hard mode is that the book is a backlist. And for this, I'm choosing Knock Knock Open Wide. This has been something that I've been wanting to get to forever, and it just sounds so intriguing. Definitely more of like a psychological horror, also about, I guess, rediscovering your childhood traumas or something like that. I don't specifically remember what it's about, just something about childhood rediscovery and things coming back to haunt you. So that one's going to be really interesting. The next square is second chance, and this is just choosing a book that you are giving a second chance to, whether that be maybe to the author or something that you've tried reading before and maybe DNF'd. And for this, I really should actually get to The Haunting of Hill House. I started reading it last year, but then just ended up DNFing it and then never getting back to it. So I think I do want to finish that one. But another one that I did put on this square is actually The Buffalo Hunter Hunter by Stephen Graham Jones. For me, the author is kind of a second chance because even though I've only read one work from him before, I didn't really like it. I read Mapping the Interior last year, and it was like the writing style just confused me. The story wasn't as much as I wanted. Like, it wasn't full of horror as much as I wanted. It was kind of eerie and a bit more psychological, but also something about the writing, things just didn't stick. I felt like stupid that I wasn't actually understanding what was being described, or I don't know, I didn't really like it. And I had such high expectations because everyone raves about Stephen Graham Jones, and I would really like to like his work. And The Buffalo Hunter Hunter sounds like something super, super intriguing. And all I know is that it's kind of like a southern gothic vampire story, and that's all I know. The next prompt is an animal on the cover, and that it is a normal animal that exists in real life, not something that's mythical. And the hard mode is that the book is longer than the last book that you read. With a cover that is extremely similar to the last book mentioned, I would like to pick up The Devil in Silver by Victor Laval. This also, as you can see, has a buffalo on the cover, and I don't actually remember what this is about again. But I believe this has something to do with a psych hospital, I think. But I have read from Victor Laval before. I read The Ballad of Black Tom, and that was a cosmic horror that really explored the themes of racism. And I'm not really I haven't really explored cosmic horror before. And so, I don't really know what the nods were to the original kind of material, but I do know that H.P. Lovecraft, being the father or whatever big legend that he was for cosmic horror, was a very well-known racist. And so I at least love and appreciate the fact that kind of retelling or exploration of the genre was something that was so adamantly talking about racism and kind of like a spitting on the grave of Lovecraft, but also, like appreciating the legend and the craft of the genre and the artwork. So I would definitely like to explore more Victor Laval. And The Devil in Silver, I know that this has been on my TBR for a long time, something that I've been interested in for a while, so I definitely like to check this one out. The next prompt is a one-word title, and the hard mode is that the cover is colorful and not black. And for this, I'm choosing Moonflow by Bitter Corella. And this, all I know about this is that it's like a psychedelic trip of something in the forest, maybe? It seems super fucking cool, and I would just love anything that is compared to a psychedelic trip. I'd love to just explore more books that are like very trippy and like a genre blend of things like that, and this just seems like the perfect book for that. Next prompt is a debut book, The hard mode is that the book is their only released work, so they are a debut author right now. And for this, I'm definitely not going to hit hard mode, but for this I want to read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. This is something that I have planned to read this month, and I'm super excited about it. I've never read this before, and I would really love to do like a deep literary analysis into it. The next prompt is to choose a book that works with another goal, and this can be a personal reading goal, a reading challenge, or a readathon. And the hard mode is that the overlap is within the booktube community and you share the event in the comments of the announcement video. I'm not too sure about the hard mode, and if that means that it has to be something that's like part of a readathon, because for this I want to choose something that fits one of my personal reading goals, and that is to choose a book that is on the list of 25 books that I wanted to read in 2025, and for that I want to read The Helm of Midnight. This is a mix of fantasy and horror from what I can tell. And even Sarah herself said that she really, really loved this and that it should be a priority, which I still haven't started reading it yet. So I don't know if I'll finish it this month, but this I definitely want to put for this bingo square. I talked about this in my October TBR. It's about death masks that are imbued with the power of the person that they are molded after. And the death mask of a serial killer goes missing, and then new kills start being serially committed. So there's that mystery aspect of it. I'm not entirely sure what the further fantasy aspects are going to be, but I look forward to picking this one up soon. And finally, the last square is social commentary. So a horror book that has themes surrounding social issues like racism, homophobia, poverty, mental health, addiction, gender equality, etc. And the hard mode is that the author is in a marginalized group. So for this, I want to pick up Reprieve by James Han Matson. He himself is an Asian American author. The synopsis of this says that it is a social horror centered around a brutal killing that takes place in a full-contact, haunted escape room. A provocative exploration of capitalism, hate politics, racial fetishism, and our obsession with fear as entertainment. Hello. Like, that sounds incredible. So, that's a wrap. Please let me know if you are also taking part in this challenge and what you are looking forward to reading, or which one of these you have read, which one of these you would like me to maybe prioritize. Some of these are still open to being switched out, possibly, if I find other recommendations. So if you do have something that maybe fits a prompt better, or that you might want to see me read, let me know what your recommendations are in the comments. I hope that you are picking up books that are 5 stars and that you're really enjoying your reads in the spooky season so far, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.